Hey, this is Yarovan. Going to give you guys a small update today about the wiki, where that stands, what you might use it for, as well as the chat system for the bots and how that's progressing. This isn't going to be a big video, but just something to show continued progress. So, what you're seeing here is the wiki, and still haven't decided how to refine it, but I've decided to go ahead and more or less copy the source file from the VMaNGOS build that you can more or less kind of, find your bearing. We go into game, let's say objects. Uh, if there's a .cpp.h file that are kind of unto themselves, then they will get a single uh, unified file that kind of says, hey, here's what I'm about. You click on that, you'll get an explanation, what this class is, what tables, your members, what the source is, and if there's something within the wiki that you can click on, then you can jump to that page as you would expect. Not everything has a hyperlink, but those that do, hovering over, you'll see. Still, a lot of these don't take you directly to source, so maybe that's something to implement further along the line. As you scroll down, you'll see that these two are collapsed. These are going to be just here as a reference. You'll also see these are, your tables. This is your call bys. Tables would be over here on the right if that specific model calls into a table. If not, you'll see everything that's called in or called by again. I think the goal here would be within AI's help. Let's say you wanted to say, how do I change XP rates? And there's also a couple of documents that have been created from my model across multiple of these fused together. And what this aims to do is give you a way to quickly change some of those macro categories about the game you would expect. And this page here should have enough information on it that if you were to take it, dump it into your preferred LLM, then you don't have to dig around the source code, but you can use these documents as kind of a fast track to changing different things about the game. And put a little bit of customization up top so that you can view it large. You can view the text, your line spacing, whatever. Uh, yeah, if someone gives me feedback and says, hey, could we add this? Could we add that? Absolutely. This is just the start. And I've looked through a number of these documents. They seem to be pretty on point. So this should give most of what you need, again, to change experience gain and rates in this case. As you guys work through this, if anybody uses this and you see something that doesn't work, that please let me know. But all of these are checked against empirical maps, and so there shouldn't be any hallucinations within any of these documents, even though they are, of course, all model written. And a few of the documents, let's see if I can find one here, kind of explain that. But spell overview, in the case that it's just split into multiple different sections, you're not going to find one page only that is, spells as you might find in the source. And so these overview pages are kind of, hey, if you're just looking at spells overall, here's kind of the top level view, and here's where you could go to find more information about it. As far as the bot chat goes, the system is finally in its first kind of release stage, and there's two different menus here. Chat capacity being where you're going to add your profile for your card, your model, what are you running. And if you're running VLLM with the OpenAI API, it should auto detect. If you're using Olama, then you will need to make sure that you have everything filled out with your exact model, right? If you have one thing off here, it's not going to work as you would expect. In the chat fill, this is where you can customize everything about the bots in game. Are they going to respond every time that you talk to them in game? Are they going to talk to each other a lot? Are they going to type fast? Are they going to type slow? And at the top level, you can see this right here. This is where, depending on how you'd like the server to fill, in my case, I'd like it to be 2005. So I want people telling me about Chuck Norris and, telling me lol, laugh my ass off and being really stupid. So uh, this is kind of where mm, I'd like people to be able to come up with their own error packs. And so I'll end up providing a format for that. It says, hey, if you want a specific type of format, here's the files that you would drop in that allow the model to kind of regulate the responses from the bots, right? Really all I have for you today. This isn't all out there yet, but the wiki docs will go up today. The chat, you're not going to be able to really interact with it until the Super UI Core VMaNGOS fork gets released. But the wiki docs, I'll be uploading this as a zip since it's quite a large file, and you'll need to download it and make sure to drop it in. And I'll be adding a settings file for that as well, so that you can point the wiki docs at that location. Thank you very much.